Hi, my name's Caroline. I grew up in rural Vermont, and my kids are being raised here in rural Vermont. And I'm going to share a story with you from my mom in the late 80s. And guess where she grew up? Rural Vermont. You're right. This is one of my favorite It's a Small World stories ever, of all time, ever. So, my mom was backpacking around Europe in the 80s, like the late 80s, and she was traveling around by train. And she was on this train that was going through Germany at midnight. And she was going from compartment to compartment looking for one that was empty so that she could find a place to sit on this overnight train. And she finally found a compartment where there was just one other person sitting in there. So she went in and she sat across from him. And he started speaking to her. And she was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I don't speak German." And he said, "Oh, are you American?" And she said, "Yeah, I am." And he goes, "I'm American too." And she was like, "Oh, that's cool. Where are you from?" And he said, "California." And she goes, "Oh, well, that's neat." And he said, "Oh, where are you from?" And she said, "Oh, I'm from Vermont." And he goes, "Where in Vermont?" And she says, "A very small town. It's a small town on the Canadian border. You've probably never heard of it." And he goes, "Oh, what town?" "Very small town. It's called Franklin." And he said, "Oh, yeah, of course. My cousins, so and so and so and so, live right on Main Street." She, of course, knew them. She, of course, had gone to school with all of their kids. And that is how my mom found this guy who was like the lost cousin of this family on a train in Germany at midnight, because Vermont has a total of 10 people in it and we all know each other. And sometimes every now and then we let somebody leave and go to California, but it's mandatory that they come back.